Hello, folks. This is Rod with Win by Doing, coming to you with an impromptu haul video. I did participate early in the week in a Wednesday live auction. This is my typical Thursday haul. Auction closed on Thursday, and the pickup is on Friday. And I'm just not getting around to doing the haul on it. And I am not in the channel right now. I mean, I'm not in the chat right now, so I will be jumping in there real quick. Sorry if I don't see you. I will say hello to everybody out there, and I'll call each one of you out as soon as I get the chat popped up. For those of you that don't know who I am Rod with Win by Doing. I do part-time reselling on eBay. I do venture into Poshmark, Etsy, which many of you that have watched in the past do understand that I do not participate in on those platforms as much as I did or as much as I anticipated, just because it just doesn't fit, what I do as far as being a part-time reseller. I'm not into all the involvement that's involved with building up your store in Poshmark and Etsy. I just don't feel like, and really it goes both ways for both of them. I really don't feel like they have the traffic as eBay. Hello, Claudette. Thanks for jumping in. Let me know, confirming that sound is good, and being, I appreciate the kind thoughts of, it all looks good. I'm assuming that's a look. But yeah, I do part-time reselling. I do own a small business. My wife and I run a summer business where we have 3 ice cream trucks on the road, as well as run concessions at a local beach. And I have a full-time job where I work in IT, and I'm a data guy. So, that's kind of who I am in a nutshell. There's 2 things that I did this in the last 2 days. Number one was I finished out the Thursday night auction that closed here locally. It's an online auction, and the great thing about doing these online auctions is you can actually, you're just judging by the photos online, and they're not always the best, they're not always the worst, but you can at least get a pull some comps while you're doing the going through the listings, and have eBay side by side on your PC when you're doing it. That's the positive side. And the downside is if you don't go in and preview the items before you start bidding, you may end up with something that just wasn't the quality that you anticipated. So that's just always something to look forward to. That's my tips of running these online auctions. If you're going to dump a lot of money into something, then go in and take a look at it, make sure it's exactly what you think it is, and you can judge how much you're going to bid from there. So that was number one. Here in the last week, this goes into number 2. Here in the last week, I put an ad out on Craigslist looking for vintage Polaroids. I basically offered $10 for the 600 squares and $10 to $20 on the SX70. That's all I put on my ad. And I'm just going to pull something up real quick. And basically I figured, I can sit and hunt for Polaroids all day long, but why not have folks bring them to me or come to me based on an ad that I put out? So someone called me up, and I know he had the SX70, which currently grade A on through retrospect, according to their website, is $65. And the Polaroid 600 squares, which are the ones you think you picture, and I'll show you when I go through the box here in a minute what those look like if you're not familiar. But it's pretty much guaranteed $25 shipped, and I was selling through eBay the 600 squares, and they're offering me $28 shipped. And what I found out, for me to ship those cameras to Retrospect, I think they're in Wisconsin, I could confirm that. From here in Idaho, it was, if I did cubic rate shipping, it was cost me $10, roughly $10 to $11 per camera if I send them in individually. So what I did this last go around, I had 6 of them. I shipped them off to them directly. Basically, they pay you half up front once they get the invoice, and you send them the tracking number. And then once they get the items and inspect them for quality, they pay you the remainder. And the whole transaction was within a week that I had all the money there. The 600s, there's not really any quality issues that they're looking for, based on their guide. And I can go through that if I just share my screen real quick here. I know it's been bouncing around a couple Facebook groups. I know I posted some, but let's go right here. Okay. So this is Retrospect. They're the ones that are buying all the Polaroids up on eBay. And, you just go through these steps, and it tells you all the steps. And then you find the value of the camera. You create an invoice. It's real easy to do through PayPal. You are paying the 4% or whatever it is in PayPal, whatever percentage they charge to process, to send an invoice and collect payment. But by dealing with them directly, you're avoiding having to pay the eBay fees as far as listing or final value fees that you would incur selling these cameras. And you can go through, there's a Retrospect buying guide. The 600 square cameras, any condition, $25. And in the case of the camera severely damaged, missing whole pieces like the flash unit or film door, enormous cracks infested with bugs, totally rusted out on the inside, etc., we reserve the right to downgrade the price from your camera to our general parts price of $10. So there is some. It has to be. These have to be pretty damaged before they'll not give you the $25 shipped for them. Here's the impulse cameras. And the grade A and grade B, and it'll tell you over here, we will buy your scratch-free, crack-free, scuff-free impulses for $25 if your camera has any of the following: scratches, scuffs, cracks, carvings, chips. We will buy it for $10. If you aren't sure of the camera grade, we can grade it upon arrival, or you can send us a photo. I actually sent one of these in this last go around. The big thing here you're going to watch out for is these express cameras. These handles are going to either be intact or not. If the handles are not intact, or if they're broken, I think it was this one. We'll buy your scratch-free. Okay, if your camera's any of the following: scuffs, cracks, carvings, chips, we will buy. Okay, this isn't the one. There's another one down here that has the handle that they automatically do not. That if the handle's broken. Oh, here. Express this. These are the ones. Must have fully intact handles. To be A grade, broken handles on Express automatically qualifies for B grade. So when you're looking at these Express cameras, make sure that you understand when you send these in that the handles have to be intact in order to get the $25 ship price. Otherwise, you're just going to get 10. Special cameras, I'm going to leave this up to you. My business model, these other ones I'll just send just to get whatever I can out of them. But as many of you know, I did sell a Century 21 branded Polaroid, and it brought $150. I took a best offer while it was sitting at auction. So these, you might want to rethink how you're going to sell these. This SX70, this is the one, grade A is 65, and this is one of these I picked up. And this is the actual one. I'll show you the condition of it when we go through my haul. But and here you can click, and it'll tell you, is the camera missing entire parts? If yes, C grade. No. Next question: does the camera have rust on the inside? Does the camera rattle when you shake it? Do 3 or more parts have chips, cracks, or carvings? And so on. And I honestly believe that the one that I have is an A grade. So that'll be shipped in, and it just goes through more of these. The chrome one here is the one you're going to look out for. It's going to bring the higher price, and then as you go through the Model 3, and it tells you what gives you a description so you can help. Even if you're not going to sell these to retrospect, this will kind of give you an idea of the different models and whatnot. So just something to look at. Sonar Chrome, $40. The Sonar Black, 50, 40, and 15, and so on. So definitely remember the name Retrospect with a K. And my recommendation here is to hey Steve, thanks for jumping in. This is me. I can sit here and post these things on eBay, but and wait, until they pick them up, or until somebody, or price them higher than what they're willing to pay, and sit and wait for them. Or I can just go ahead and put them to the side, not worry about the listing sitting out there, and I'll ship them out. I mean, when I shipped this, I think there were 6 of them. It cost me, I think, I want to say $20, just under $20 to ship all 6 of them. So I actually ended up with more profit selling them or sending them in all together in one large box. So just kind of, look at it, figure out what works best for you, and do that. This is just, I'm in it for the quick money. So if I can just send them off, get half the money, and I don't mind sitting in, a few days. Shipped them out priority mail. They got there within a couple, 2 or 3 days. Sorry for bumping my table there. And as soon as they opened them up, saw their quality that I had stated on my invoice, they paid the remainder of the money. So the transaction, really is within a week's time period that it's pretty much just guaranteed money, I guess, while it lasts. So I think first thing, I'm going to go through what I picked up at the auction. It wasn't a ton. I total of, there's 8 lots that I picked up from this auction. And some of it, this is going to be, many of you know I pick up some weird crap. And I tell you what, I am one lucky son of a bitch, or I just haven't. I'll pick up something cheap and hope that it pays off in the end, and typically, usually it does. I will tell you, the first thing is American hot dog sign. It's just a tin modern sign. This was actually, it's going to go on our concession stand, and that I paid $7 for. So nothing spectacular for reselling. I didn't even pull comps or anything for this. I just said, "Hey, Kat, do you want a American?" Hey, sassy seller, thanks for jumping in. This is going. I said, "Hey, Kat, do you want a hot dog sign for the concession stand?" And she goes, "Well, yeah." How much? I said, "Okay, how much are you willing to pay for it?" I just went one bid up, and we won it. Evidently, not many people want hot dog signs out there. This one is, I probably paid for reselling. I would say definitely this isn't the best pickup, but I do not have an Atari console yet, but I did go ahead and pick up these controllers, and basically this actually goes to a Nintendo Jordan versus Bird. I mean, it's like a $2 game. It was in the lot, but I also picked up the Pong-like controllers, a set of those, as well as the joysticks. And hey, Josh, thanks for jumping in and joining the show. So I grabbed that. Again, it seems like every week I'm picking up something for my own collection, but I do. I have a lot of Atari games. I just haven't picked up the console yet. So that's what I'm on the lookout for. And let's see, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. I just totally lost my count. I do not know. I can't count tonight. How about I just take that and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 28. So the controllers, 28 Atari games, and the NES game. and I paid a total of $25 for that. I mean, if I ever decide to resell it, I would definitely make the $25 back. But that particular one is going again in my game. I don't even know what to call it. My game vault, because I have so many. I mean, Izzy laughs because she's like, Dad, we're going to have to eventually sell some of those Wiis and PlayStations, because I have, I would say 8 or 9 Wiis out there. I have probably 10 PlayStation 2s, a couple PlayStation 1s, 2 PlayStation 3s, but I've just been collecting all this, and I haven't gone through and tested it. And I think I talked about that in the previous video, but yeah. This next box, I have absolutely no idea how I'm going to do on this. This is a box, and I don't know. You guys might think I'm crazy as far as when you look at other resellers out there. Most people will have an idea what they're buying and how much it's going to be worth. There's a lot of things I just pick up just because I know there's value there, and I'll sort it out in the end. This is a box of radio and service parts. I paid $12 for this, and I mean, some of them are like new AC adapters. There's not any tubes or anything in here, I don't think, but everything is pretty much still packed in its original. This is a I better keep that lid on there, because that tells me what it is. I can't even tell. I'll have to look up all these part numbers and figure out what they are. These are probably going to be super long tail stuff, to be honest with you. Or I may, if I get tired of sitting on it, I'll just say, you know what? Here's a lot of service parts for radios, mobile radio. What is this? It's just a little speaker. I mean, but I figured, anything, if it's in the box for $12, I'm going to give it a go. I've never sold parts for you. If you guys have sold parts like this before, let me know what you guys think of it. I do definitely think it's going to be long tail, and again, some of these things just aren't for me. But I experimented on those black and white photos. I don't know if you remember me showing those a few last week or the week before. These what are the ACV? It's a certain type of process that they put like a thin photo onto a card. I put them on auction the first week or this week, and the auction just ended today, and I didn't have any action on it until this afternoon. And one guy, before all my other auctions ended, he bid on I think 8 or 9 of them at $5 a piece. So, but really what I'm going to end up doing is the auctions ended on the rest of them. I think it probably cut off before he saw all my listings. I'm probably going to lot them up at the same price and just message the guy and say, hey, here's another listing. And, if you're interested, I just put them all in one buy it now price at the same price you're buying the other photos for, and just see if he takes it. I mean, and that was another one of those lots that was just thrown in a box. And again, I mean, I've already made, double, triple the money that I put into them. But I was really surprised. I really thought after day 5, day 6, that they were going to sit forever. And I was already planning on changing the listings to buy it now and leaving them at $5 just to see how long they would sit there. But it sounded like he was interested in it. So I will definitely be messaging him. Hey, what's up? How you doing, man? You doing better? Red Neckerson. This next one, this one, where did I put that? Oh, I'm going to have to move some stuff around. I tell you what, this week has been crazy for me sourcing. It is completely outside of what I typically do. Normally, I'm going to auctions once a week. The last couple of weeks, I've been doing 2. I've been doing the live auction as well as the online auction, and I haven't even had a chance to put all my crap away, and I've listed some of it, but I still have a lot more to go. But I cannot. Let me go get that real quick. I was getting ready to list it, and that's why it wasn't in here. Sorry to hear that. Hey, Chadwick. Patty Whack, give a dog a bone. Sorry, that just what came to my my mind. Sorry to hear that. When people are their health is failing, that's tough on everybody. This is an Aquasana powered water filtration system, and it's complete. It's never been used. Did I know what this was? It's still in the package. It is a powered water. That's what it calls, is powered water filtration system. And I'm going to be honest with you. Comps on this, they're all over the place. I mean, I've seen them used all the way, and it may just be parts, bits and pieces of it. There's a main unit, and I think there's a couple of pictures in there, as well as a filter. I know the filters for these things are going for about $30-$40. And I want to say, I'm very hopeful that I'm going to get a minimum of $100 on this. This was $18 is what I ended up picking that up for. So if you guys know anything about filtration systems, feel free to leave in the comments below. But again, it's one of those things, for the price, I just I couldn't help. This one, I have done well on these before, but not this particular type, and probably not in this shape. This is a lot. It was described as vintage Auga horn and coffee tin. And honestly, I only saw the tin. And I know that of all the tins that I've sold in the past, coffee is the one that it seems like to me has been more desirable. So I don't even know what kind of coffee. It says Edwards Coffee. That's what the lid says. And the lid's not in the greatest shape, but it was more the horn. The thing is, the air horns go a lot quicker, I think. This one, I don't even know if I'm going to make anything off of this. I'll just kind of show it up there. It does have an electric motor there with the lead coming out on that back end. And it's going to make some noise once it gets hooked up. So I have no idea on that. I'm going to be completely honest. And here's some made in China owls. At first I thought they were salt and pepper shakers. These were hiding in it's that, what is that called? Oh, come on, you jewelry people know what I'm talking about, where they do the enamel. There's a term for that type of application for paint and enamel. But I have some old filtration units. All right. So anyway, I'll tell you what, this is a crazy thing. I paid what was it? I paid for this $3 for this box. And I would not be surprised if I made, all my money, then some, on the stupid owls that weren't even listed in the lot. Or even, what's this? Oh, this is just a basic, this is just a cheapo coffee cup that you'd find in the thrift store. But the $2.50 table that I picked up on Wednesday, within a day I sold a coffee cup and a saucer, or teacup and saucer, for $20 plus shipping. So I mean, it really would not surprise me that these little owl, and they are metal, but they have the gosh, I wish I could remember the word for this enamel work, but everything else in that $2.50 dollar lot is pretty much free money. I've been dabbling in and out of art. These are just these may be actually prints. I'm just going to show them up real quick. These I paid 2 frame signed black and white horse print. So 9.5, 11 Appaloosa and buckskin. And I actually have to get my loop out to see if I can identify what the signature's on. I just thought they were cool. The Western art does sell. I just don't know what I'm going to get out of these. For the pair of them, I paid $7.50. So I got 3 1/4 a piece into these. I'm trying to get it to where the glare is not shining back at you. But those are going to be easy art to ship. And I was just seeing where it was. These were actually framed in Garden Valley, Idaho. So local pieces. And this one I just thought was totally cool. And this is Inland Northwest history right here at its finest. It is what I would consider a folk art piece, handcrafted, original by Earl Baker. So there's a local guy here in the city. And it is what I paid for this. The story of Mount St. Helens, framed picture, approximately 22 by 15, and has a vial of ash. And I'll just show it to you real quick. It's got images of, I'll try to read this backwards. The story of Mount St. Helens, June 1959. It looks like they're actually photos. April of 1980, June of 1980, and May of 1980. And it's got a vial of ash right here. It is, there is glass. There might even, no, actually, I can tell looking at it right now. That is a plexiglass. That's still her goal for next year is space camp, and I think she's almost at $300 in her PayPal account. So she sold something, or she sold something that yesterday or Thursday, and she has a bid open on an item today. So she is pressing on with it, and Mom's starting to really work with her to get some more things listed and trying to have her set goals to do some listing. This piece here, I don't even have any clue. This might actually go to auction. And I'll probably start it at least $20 and see what happens. I mean, that seems like something that I would do. And I don't know if you can see that. This right here is a padded piano bench. That's for Izzy. She plays piano. I've shown her in some of my past videos where just in the beginning or the tail end of a video, her playing the piano. We have a hard seat, so I thought, if you want a cushioned piano bench, I'll go ahead and pick that up for you. And I paid $12 for that. But yeah, think about when Mount St. Helens blew. I wasn't here at the time, but my wife was, and she remembers the ash blowing all the way over here. If you're not familiar, kind of where Mount St. Helens, let's say this is the state of Washington, we're over here, and Mount St. Helens is, let's just say over here. Ash blew all the way over and was landing on everything, covering everything from your cars, your lawn, and I'm not just talking a light dusting. It was covered in ash from when it blew. So definitely, it's probably going to be something that somebody's going to pick up here in the West Coast, or has ties to the Inland Northwest. Is probably who's going to pick that up. So that was my auction haul, and I really took it kind of late. I took a kind of a laid back approach on that auction just because I picked up so much stuff at the one on Wednesday. Hello, Cindy. Thanks for jumping in. I do appreciate it. But that was my auction haul. Now we're going to go into the next thing. I mentioned at the head of the show that I went and I put out an ad on Craigslist looking for Polaroid cameras, something I'd never done before. Stepped out of my comfort zone and just did it. And I had a guy call me Friday morning, afternoon. Yes, it was yesterday. And man, that guy could talk, but I learned everything about him. And he said basically what I did, I said, for any of your square 600s, I do $10 a piece, and anything, if you have any SX70s, I'll give you 10 to 20 depending on condition. And he called me back and said, and he just went through everything, how he was going to create this photography store and then have like a museum in the front. But he's just getting up there, and he said, you sit and talk. What is your 20? I am in northern Idaho. Are you talking about 1020? But no. What is? Am I doing the wrong lingo? But are you talking about the cameras? It's the Polaroid SX70. I'm going to show you one and why I think it's worth the money. Because if I showed earlier the no, I am in Coeur d'Alene. I'm actually in one of the little suburbs, I guess you would call it, or townships connected to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. So I'm just west of St. Mary's. So it sounds like your Idaho, but so I probably talked to him for a good 20-30 minutes, listening to his entire story, and that was on the phone before I finally figured out an address and a time to meet him. Decided to go meet up with him this morning at 9:00. So I get there and I show up, and he lives in the basement of somebody else's home. And I thought that's what you meant, Red Neckerson. But so this isn't going to be for everybody, that you're going to meet some stranger get a phone call from a stranger, and you're going to go crawl down in his basement apartment room and go through his collection of cameras and whatever else he has. But I did, and I just told my wife, if I don't come back, I wasn't meant to reach the age of 50. So, and off I went. So I get there, and it was, I honestly felt like I was an American picker. Hey, John, thanks for jumping in. I appreciate it. If any of you guys watch American Pickers, that's who I was this morning. I ended up going, and basically when I got there, I had to wait for him to put the people that own the house, their dogs in kennels, and then so I wouldn't be disturbing them. And then he comes out and says, "Okay, come on through." So I go in, and there's this door on the side of the wall, and there's a solid door. And he's, "Okay, this is where we're going. We're going down to my space downstairs." And you go downstairs. I could not. I requested to bring the camera, and he just wasn't into that. This was a 68, 69-year-old Vietnam vet that came out of the other side of PTSD, and has been striving to better himself after a lot of hardship through that bout, and then even afterwards. And for the past 15 years, he's been staying here and really just trying to pick himself up. But I'm going down the stairs, and I pretty much had to duck because the ceiling was so low and so steep going down there. And you go down, and there's a wall, and it's covered with like posters, Marilyn Monroe, some James Dean, and whatever else was there. I mean, there was so much to take in. I couldn't take in all of it. And then you kind of go to the left, and there was like a bookcase, and there was stuff sitting there and stuff behind it. There was a closet there. He used to be in touch with surfing and surfboards and stuff like that. And then I saw the bookshelf full of vintage cameras. And then it was such an awesome experience listening. And it's just like Frank and Mike, when they talk about, you hear how enthused these people are about their collection. I mean, he had one section that was like a tiki area, and where he had a tiki bar set up, and he had this vintage 50s diner style table, and he had it all decorated. But it was clutter. I mean, it was a mess, but it's like, I have a mess here, and I know I have a mess here, but it's my mess, and I know what each and every one of these pieces are, where I picked it up. And I mean, he went so far where he had like these, like he had a Mickey and a Minnie that was the Cougs up here in Washington. Had him dressed up in outfits. One was Minnie was a cheerleader. Mickey was. It was just really cool how much pride he took in this stuff. Something that, he knew the value of things, and let's just look at this as a bundle price that I paid for everything. And I may have paid a little bit more than what some people are comfortable with, but at the same time, I know there's a lot of other stuff in there that's of value. And I opened that door. It was a great experience. I probably spent 2 hours there, going through, and the room was probably, the basement room was probably maybe 3 times the size of this room right here. So, I mean, it wasn't huge. The most of the time was just spent listening to his stories and talking to him about it, and opening that communication, and just kind of soaking it all in, hearing what his, what got him excited about his collection. And even though he knew that, there was value in things that he had, he also knew that, he's gotten to the point where he just doesn't have the energy to fulfill some of the dreams that he had when he was younger, and he's ready to let it go. So again, this lot, I'm just going to tell you, I spent $200 in this house. It's not a ton of stuff, but I do know some value of some of the stuff, and I have my hopeful value, and then some of the stuff I know really doesn't. It's not going to add up. Just because I love these old clocks so much. This is a Seth Thomas mantle clock. It is wooden. There's some scuffs and stuff here on this side here. It does, just so you know, here's where you're gonna wind it up, because it does take a wind. It does wind. Have you ever been to the truck stop with all the 100,000 silver dollar bar, 10,000 silver dollar bar? And I think they might have changed it. It does have everything there down to, I don't know if I can get to it here. The best part about this one, it was complete. That is just the 10,000 silver dollar bar. That's just on the other side of the Montana border, Idaho. But this is what I heard the entire time driving home, because that thing would bump and stuff. It does have the key that you would wind up the front. This is the only issue right here. Some of the veneer has come off of here, but this is going to be, I'm just reading. I'm not sure what the writing on here is. But I think that's the one thing why I ended up 50,000 silver dollar. But thank you, Kat. She keeps me straight. It also came with the pendulum. So I just thought this was probably my favorite pickup of the whole lot, just because I like that's what was bouncing up and down. Just because I like the look of these old clocks. I'll be sitting back here on my little fireplace, electric fireplace. Okay. I got him to throw this in. It is your standard Bakelite Viewmaster. Picked one up in the wild. The thing that will add value to this is putting these. I have moon rockets. These are 4 disc sets. Not the greatest condition for the packaging, but these were $1.25 at Payless. There's the Grand Canyon again, 4 set. I believe it came. The experience was worth what you paid. What you sell off it is gravy. I totally agree. Been there many times. Heck, I have been to the drive from St. Mary's to Moscow. Moscow. I always pronounce it Moscow, but it's Moscow, and people correct me all the time. Had Seth Thomas plug-in, hard to sell, but any Howard Miller mantles, good money. Thanks for that tip, Chadwick. Found a lot of cuckoo clocks last summer, none this summer. I haven't been him come across an auction every once in a while. I just haven't. I haven't done it just because. And you'd think that with all the weird crap that I pick up throughout the year, I would not have an issue picking up a cuckoo clock. But some things just kind of. I say the thing, Rod. Moscow. Yeah. There's Washington for the Viewmaster, Alaska, and Disneyland Main Street USA. Check out that. I mean, it is. And again, these all had the 3 or 4. I honestly think that with throwing in all these, I'm pretty hopeful that $30 to $40 on that. But I really just, a lot of the stuff I pick up, I just want to be able to hold it for a little while. I do get joy doing that, and the fact that I'm able to pass it on to somebody else, and it really keeps me from being a hoarder, even though I feel like a hoarder because everything's growing and growing and growing. But one of these days, we're gonna go through some of these aren't going to be worth much. I picked up some lenses. I picked up a total of. We're probably talking $10 to $15 used on eBay. This is an AMCAM 1:8 f 500 millimeter, and it has a number there. And this one, I may look at this one to add to my Canon. I do have a converter for that. This one here, I think I can't remember if this was Canon compatible or not. This is a Soligor. Soligor, and that is a 70 to 200 auto zoom macro 13.5 75 to 250 millimeter. No, 205 millimeter. And so I got, and like I said, some of these are this one here. Let me see. I think I've actually got this one. This one's a Pentax. Just a smaller. And this one is a Toyo Optics 75 to 200 millimeter. I'm going to learn about these. The one that is really probably the most valuable one in the collection is this last one I'm going to pull up. And this is a Tamron, and it is an auto Tamron. It's a wide angle 4.5, 21 millimeter, just to kind of give you, it does have a little bit of a dent there, but that's not going to affect the the view. I don't believe, and none of them seem to have any cracks. I mean, he did do the best that he probably can. If this one proves out, I think on the low end, 140 to 150 for this particular one here. But you know, who am I? Am I a camera guy? No. But that was the one that seemed to bring the higher comps. I got a tripod, and the tripod is going for my. This camera is absolutely worth very little. It's an old Toyota Land camera. The thing about it is complete with case. It came with a tripod. It does have a strap. I'll pull it out here. It took me forever to figure out how to pull that out. It did come with. I thought there was flash. Oh, there was 2 flash in with it. This is just Polaroid. I don't know what this is. Just cards to stick your film, your pictures to. So just basic paperwork. And the camera, it's an old LAN. Let me put that back in there real quick. So it did come with the case, the lid to it. It's an automatic 100. And again, these, I have to remember how. I know that pops up like this. And there's something you have to push down, I believe. Now I'm going to look like a total retard because I can't figure out. I apologize for using that term. Please forgive me. I look like a total idiot, as my wife likes to occasionally let me in on. These are just cool. I mean, but I mean, the camera itself, you're talking maybe $15. But the I don't know how to use it, but it does appear to have. I wonder if I snapped a photo. Or is it, maybe there's already a photo. It has film in it, and I hate to take the last. Oh, it actually did come with the flash as well. Here I am playing with stuff on camera with y'all sitting here just staring at me. But anyway, again, complete. I'm hoping at least $25, $30 for it, but we will see. We're getting to the other stuff. Why I mean, this is all the extra stuff that I did not go there for, but I wanted to look at the entire collection and see if I could find anything else. Actually, I just noted. Oh, Charlie, Isabella.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to grab his toy, but then he ran down.
I'll figure out how to get that back on later. So I'll sit on there like that for now. Now the next one, and this is this one I didn't look up either. I mean, it's probably, I just thought it looked cool too. It is a Polaroid Land camera. I'll just hold that one up. And I guess that's where the film would go. I don't know a ton about all these Polaroids. I just know they look cool. Oh, here we go. This pops out and clicks into place. I just think they look totally cool. And this one, of course, again, I do not know the value, if any, on this one. I know the last one didn't bring a ton. This one may not either. It's just a Polaroid Land Oh, it's a model 80A. So I'll definitely be looking to see if there's any value to that one or not. Two more cameras to go through. These are the ones that they're offering $25 for, regardless of the condition. And looks like the battery's dead on that one. But this style is the one, $25 all day long, going through retrospect. And this is the one. This one is really nice. This is the SX70. It is in the leather case, original leather case there. And this is going to be the chrome. And for you, this is what it looks like closed. It does have work on it. I mean, that is now something they will say there is some scuffing right here on the side, and I'm hoping that doesn't take. Hey Glenn, how you doing? Going through my last camera here. They will tell you that the skins, and that's the leather here, that they can work around with that. That doesn't affect the issue of the cameras, and it's really because you can buy skins for these SX70s all day long online. Just check it out. What if you type in SX70 on eBay, you're probably going to pull up the skins. Now this is where I'm going to have to revert to the manual. Oh, that's the 100 land camera. I need to make sure that goes back in that box. What is this? This was in there with it. It's just I don't know. It's just a little, like a little mini clipboard. Freaking Steve found one today. I should have one of those as well. They're cool looking. I want to look at the directions to see if I can figure out how to open the damn thing up. But found a 300 series today. Awesome. I don't really want to mess with this because I'm afraid I'm going to break it and just totally screw it up. Okay, I got that to pop up. You guys are like, no, don't let Rod touch the camera. Ah, snap. Okay. I'm not gonna lock it in, but that's basically what it looks like. Open. I think this is gonna pop back in. Like I said, I don't want to break this without knowing exactly what I'm doing. But I'll just hold it up like that. Oh yeah. I think that's how it goes. Now if I can just get it to go, okay. And there it is, folks. This was easier than the transformer I did the other night. I'm going to cram all this stuff back in there. But again, this whole entire lot, I paid $200 for everything. Between the wide angle lens and the clock, I think I'm going to do okay. I've done pretty well on clocks before. The ones I do better at are the if you can find any of them that are Art Deco, the Bakelite. Those do really well. There's a collector market. It may just be the Bakelite collector, or it could be clock collectors the same, and it could be just a general Art Deco collector. But I threw the Craigslist ad out there looking for Polaroids, and I think I did okay. I think I'm gonna come out pretty good. This is actually that pops open, which it shouldn't, but that's the flash for that that bigger Polaroid that I had. But it's a new where's Steve at? He was here earlier, way earlier. He's either working or in bed. I know it is late where he's at. Found a Panasonic Ghost recorder today. I saw that on Facebook. If you guys aren't part of This Week in Reselling Facebook group, go check that out. I have a Facebook group as well. It's not as well known, but I tell people there that it's the second best Facebook group for resellers, and it really is, because I enjoy going over to Lonnie and John's page so much, but mine's out there as well, and maybe it's just a place for me. People are post what they're picking up, as well as me to show the different things that I'm finding. Definitely here you're not going to find your run of the mill. I'm not a jewelry guy, and I know there's money in jewelry. I'm not a clothes guy, even though I know there's money in clothes. They're just things that I just don't like to do. Glassware. I like to just find stuff, and I don't know. I feel like I sell some pretty odd stuff. What's up, Bart? But something else I just want to let you guys know. I've been kind of I have not heard from Lonnie or seen anything on Lonnie yet. We went to dinner and I came home to kick this off, so I'll have to go check it out. But let me, something I've been kind of wondering about is I like to do these live shows, and I've been playing around with the times recently. It seems like the later I go, let me know, whether in comments or in the chat there, what you guys think of as far as time slots, because I enjoy each and every one of you jumping in. Oh, is LSU won? I wasn't even watching the game. I think they had the WSU and EWU game on when I went to dinner, and that's a big rival matchup here in the Northwest. But anyway, I'm just going to continue what I do, and I'll feel it out. Won by a field goal. I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's pretty happy. Go Dogs! I'll be completely honest. I don't follow a lot of sports. I know the teams around here, and I know, but growing up with 5 daughters, or living with 5 daughters, it kept me busy enough to where I really didn't have the time to focus a ton on between that work and everything else. And I keep making excuses, but I'll talk crap when I'm playing the fantasy football thing. That's about as far as I go with professional football. I don't watch. I enjoy the being part of a group, I guess. Yep, help me when I have no flesh friends near me. That's something that's hard in today's day and age. I mean, everybody gets so busy with everything. And it's something that I think everyone strives to have, is that contact with other people. But unfortunately, with as fast-paced lives that we live, and it kind of has put us in, and with the onset of everything being online and communication and all the social media and chat and Facebook, whatever the mode is online, we're kind of forced to gravitate towards that. And you know what? I'll tell you what, some of the best friends that I have made have been online, through whether when I was doing online gaming and now reselling. I mean, the reselling community is awesome. I would probably have gone insane by now if it wasn't for that. But anyway, that is my haul for this evening. You guys got a bonus 2 in 1 week, but now I've got to start getting this stuff out of here and moving on. But sales, surprisingly, the last couple of days have picked up, so I don't know what's going on with that. Earlier in the week they were just hitting 2 here, 3 here, 0. I think I had a goose egg one day, but it's something I'm going to have to get going on and get this stuff out of here. Price it right and get it gone. But anyway, I appreciate each and every one of you jumping in the chat this evening. Without you all, this would not be worth doing. So porches turned into decks. I'll throw one more thing. When I traveled overseas, when I was in the military, I had the opportunity to visit Italy, and one of the things that was awesome for me was to experience their siestas or whatever, where they basically halfway through the day you take off of where everything shuts down and either go do your shopping or just relax, do whatever you want, and then later in the evening everything opens back up. But to see everybody gathered in towns and stuff, and just how I imagine it back in the old days, that was something that but yes, I am heading out for now. I do appreciate, again, each and every one of you jumping in, and we'll catch y'all later. Peace out. Siesta.